special. Very special. This just might be one of the coolest, fastest, loudest and most properly tuned Audis I've ever driven in my 20 years of doing this. So you better buckle up properly. The Audi RS6 GT is already one of the most unique cars by the four rings from Ingolstadt. With its limited production, unique custom body style and one factor hard to beat. The only thing that it got criticized on is the lack of extra power. That has been taken care of here by a big margin. When I got an email from Crazy D Customs that they, together with Power Division, made the best RS6 GT in the world, fixing everything it was lacking and more, I had to check it out. And just a few weeks later, I was standing among some amazing views in the Tatra Mountains along with my camera and this incredible over 1000 horsepower beast. And I am going to take you with me for a proper ride. So, let us do this. Welcome to Auditography. I have been a photo and videographer for the brand for over 20 years. I am a collector of some very unique four-ringed icons myself, and I have also made the viral movie Speak Up for Audi. That led me to even meet the CEO, and many people high up in the company are my friends. The four rings is my lifestyle. Join me here in this new emotional video. The Audi RS6 GT was a limited run special edition from Audi. 660 cars were made and it featured a twin-turbo V8 pumping out 630 horses and 850 Nm of torque. This one here has got way more power than that. Tuned by one of my favorite tuning companies for the C8 platform, Power Division, it has a whopping 1051 horses and 1230 Nm of torque. That results in a ridiculous acceleration time of just 2.4 seconds to 100 km per hour and 4.6 seconds from 100 to 200. You don't believe me? Well, just take a look at some of these acceleration scenes. This car was specially tuned to fulfill the wishes of the customer, Crazy D Customs. I really like this guy's taste, which is similar to mine, and I'll come back to that later during several parts of this video. In this very special Power Division kit, the key feature is the flex fuel with automatic power level adaptation to ethanol blend. They are the first in the world that managed to do this, and you can monitor the tank percentage of ethanol in the gauges. On run 98, the total output is 981 horses and 1169 Nm of torque. With addition of ethanol, the system automatically detects that and changes the ECU. So with E25 it reaches its top numbers as I mentioned before. The result is the same as with a water methanol injection kit with a much simpler procedure. The ECU is plug and play with stage 3 and multi-mapping has 4 levels to choose from. It has now got the PD1200 Turbochargers, a special carbon intake kit, and PD Intercooler Kit. Low and high pressure fuel kits have been fitted, as well as 4-bar map sensors, performance sport plugs, carbon air guides and light engine pulley. The titanium exhaust with sport cats has been provided by the Exhaust Masters MG Motorsport. The full tuning list is provided in the video description as well. The look of the engine bay has been improved by a custom carbon engine cover with the numbers of the power output printed. Remember, the project leader of the original RS6 GT was not allowed to do anything in the engine bay by the Audi decision makers, even if he tried and fought so hard for it. Well, I am sure he has a huge smile on his face looking at this beast. So, as you might have understood by now, this car means serious business and can outrun pretty much most of the cars on this planet. The first thing that really struck me is how well made and tuned this car is. The best compliment I can give it is that it feels like the car could have been made by Audi themselves. This is what a RS6 GT should have been like straight from the factory. I have driven quite many 1000 plus horsepower C8 platform cars, and most of them are insanely loud, with almost overuse of pops and bangs, and sometimes they have felt cheap. That word can't be used anywhere on this example. One of the most impressive things is when you put it in comfort or even auto, the car drives smooth and silent like a normal A6. It's when you put it in dynamic or any RS mode that the thunder awakens. I'm still stunned how you can build a 1000 horsepower car that can completely be calm daily as well. Massive kudos to that. But if you do want and prefer more pops and bangs, you can automatically set the level of that yourself. I always preferred more rumble with bass like a stock C7.5 RS6 and 7 had. It just gives you that nice pop instead of giving you fireworks for 10 seconds like a tuned GTI or S3. I'm sure you know what I mean. I promised the owner not to go all out launch control during filming since the gearbox is still blocked by Audi and I didn't want to risk anything. I did a few semi-launches, not giving it too much brake boost, but just note how the car just shoots away when the turbos kick in a bit after that. The removal of the soft limiter is something every Audi RS owner should do. Well, it shouldn't be there in the first place as it removes so much of the emotion. And don't try to explain it away, Audi, by emission regulations. Your competitors do it, so it's nothing else but your own choice to have this castration. Here, thank God I can hear that twin-turbo V8 sing. I had a lovely 2026 RS e-tron GT Performance for a shoot just before this car, and it's really night and day between these two. Despite similar power and acceleration numbers, the RS6 GT feels so much more alive. It creates that massive smile on your face, and the way you are pushed down in your seat can never be compared to the emotionless, immediate acceleration by any EV. This is automotive engineering at its best. This right here, my God, what a car! What a car! The exterior of the RS6 GT is already a head-turner. Here, people don't only turn, they pretty much twist their necks 360 degrees when they not only see, but hear this car from far away. Kids pull their parents' hands and point, men tap their girls on the shoulder, and seniors give you that thumbs up. I was smiling from ear to ear watching people react to this car. This is what Audi is to me, and it reminded me of all these years that I was shooting the most important and impressive Audis and how much I loved what I did. That has been killed quite a lot in the past years, but with cars like this, I'm reminded of what happens when true Audi hearts work on them freely. What Crazy D Customs did with the exterior is just adding some lovely custom touches. Their own badges that feel really good quality and seem like straight from the factory with no Temu feeling here. No pun intended. They also added the small details in the headlights, which is such a cool touch. Overall, they kept the exterior look as stock as possible, and I love that they did that. The original RS6 GT already has that unique front bumper that is a bit narrower and wider than a normal RS6. It also has the iconic Avus wheels, which are so loved by any Audi enthusiast or collector that knows their history. One of my all-time favorite Audi wheels. The carbon fiber hood and side fenders, as well as the rear spoiler, it was all left there because it's perfect on the stock GT. It's in the next area where this very example by Crazy D Customs shines the most, so let's jump straight into that chapter. The interior is where this car blows me away the most. The stock RS6 GT was never special enough on the inside for what it was. By that I mean that it hardly had any difference to the RS6 Performance other than the small tweaks in the seats and the small numbering here and there. A proper limited GT by Audi was always different down to every single detail, for example as the first generation R8 GT. So when Crazy D got his hands on this one, he improved this interior in every possible way. I will stick out my nose a bit here and say that this is the most well-made custom Audi interior I have ever sat in. And trust me when I say that I've seen everything from the four rings. First and foremost, every annoying and reflective piano black surface was replaced by other materials. Audi, take a proper look at how an interior is done. You have done it before and then you lost your way. Now it's time to get your ish together. Driving this thing and not having all these reflections from the piano black hitting my face constantly was a feeling that made me exhale from relief. I can't stand sitting inside the new Audi interiors full with screens and piano black. It's the smallest details here in this GT that impressed me the most. The choice of color as a nod to the original Audi sport colors and also a continuation of the original livery by Audi. The design and material choice of the steering wheel. Top-notch materials on every single inch. When you have this thing in front of your eyes constantly, you know that you are driving a special Audi. Take notes, Audi. Take notes. You have made some amazing steering wheels through time, but the last thing you force on your customers should be punishable by law. Look straight from any Temu or AliExpress order to me. So Crazy D, thank you so much for reminding me what amazing steering wheel design and quality of material feels like. And how ridiculously cool are the door lists that have the dynamic light that swipes over the badge while changing colors. And can we also talk about the seat design for a moment? The look and the quality of these just blew me away. Just to compare, the GT badge on the stock RS6 GT on the seats looks so cheap painted on the piano black part. Here a proper carbon fiber piece and a proper GT logo sticks out. Looks so much better. The attention to the smallest details here in the interior is so impressive. Every little corner here has been reworked by the thought of the highest quality. Just look at that key fob, for example. Massive respect from me to you, Crazy D. You have my blessing. This interior here has reminded me of what amazing interiors Audi used to do. And that hit me deep in the feels. This RS6 GT900 is everything we all wished that an RS6 GT would have from the factory. The power, the quality, the uniqueness and differentiation compared to any normal model, and that attention to details. I'm sure that the project leader of the original RS6 GT will be emotionally touched watching this video. He will probably scream out loud, "That's what I wanted." But he was denied by the people in the suits over and over again. I've talked about it a lot in the chapter of my Speak Up for Audi film, so if you haven't seen that yet, go take a look. Now, I see myself as a very picky person and a perfectionist down to every single detail when it comes to cars, especially my own Audi collection. And especially how older Audis feel compared to the plastic fantastic era we are in now. So it is very hard to impress me. I actually don't remember the last time an Audi blew me away on every area as this RS6 GT has. The best compliment I could possibly give it is that it made me smile as much as my own RS6 C7.5 Avant, which I have said for almost a decade that Audi would never make a better car than that ever again. Well, I was proven wrong. This here is the most perfect Audi I have ever driven. Thank you for watching.